hope you can hear me and see me okay. I'm currently filming on a Monday morning, and I've got 3 completed makes that I wanted to show you. I was hoping to show you 4, but the one, I mentioned it in my last video. It was I told you that I was doing the 12 Days of Christmas project. It's like they're felt pieces and a new hand embroider. I've got Rafe with me today. I thought you'd like to know. I'm trying to bring you less things and do more frequent videos, so they're not as long. And then I can. And I thought I'm going to definitely bring Rafe today, because if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've had Holly and I've usually got Rafe. And if you've been watching my videos, you know why it's usually him over Holly. And what was I going to say? Oh, this is not a good start, is it? So yeah, I haven't got a dress form with me today, because one of the things that I've made, I'm actually wearing it. So I'll talk about that in a moment. So the reason I'm actually wearing this is it's the right kind of temperature that I can wear in here. The UK has been absolutely boiling at the moment, and when I actually photographed this for my Instagram and for my Facebook, I was absolutely sweating, and like I don't know if you noticed, but I did put a couple of pictures on. The first ones I was copying the pattern. I'll show you the pattern in a moment, and but by the time I just did a photo where I was just standing there like this, my hair was just getting frizzier and frizzier, and I was absolutely drenched. And actually, I haven't washed this since I haven't wore it. I haven't washed it. I was like, I hope it doesn't smell, but luckily it's absolutely fine, because after the photograph I just took it off. And so that's why I'm wearing it. I hope everything's okay with the filming, because I've got a different tripod. See, everything's gone wrong. When I was actually photographing this, because it's a dress, and I thought, oh gosh, you need to see more of it. When I pushed, because I put it on top of the ironing board, when I pushed it back, it fell off, and the bit that holds the phone fell off. But I was already, can you imagine, I'm sweltering in this dress, and so in the end I just put some duct tape on it, and it did hold it, but the photo was wonky, and my middle son was in the room when I was photographing it, and he, bless him, just to straighten it a little bit, he just got one of the legs, and he just made it longer, and it just straightened it up. So, you know, sometimes you see these photos and you don't realise what has gone on leading up to these photos. But so when you see, if you've seen the photographs of this already on my social media, that is what went on. But if you haven't seen them, you can either go and check my social media after, or there will be, if you go to the description box of this video on YouTube, they'll be on my blog. Like I often say, I haven't wrote my blog yet, but by the time I film this, I'll write up my blog, put my photographs on, and get that all ready for you. So that's that. So the reason I've made this dress, and it is the Tilly and the Buttons Coco, and that's how I took a couple of my photographs in that pose. And actually I was doing it the opposite way, so I did a split screen, and so the model was going that way and I was going the other way, and that's quite fun actually, because sometimes you don't want all your photographs to be the same, so I like to try and do something a bit different. I'm sorry if you can see something white there, I can see it. It's my it's one of my overlockers, and I have it on here actually, and you can, and that's the plastic cover, so it's not going to go, is it? Just please excuse that. And actually I've put a tea towel here today, because I just thought it looks a bit messy. I don't know what you think. I'm going off on one again, aren't I? Well, no, that doesn't look too bad there, but I think it's this bit here, isn't it? I think I need to do something with that for these videos. I think it looks a bit of a mess. So this is Poppy to Free tea towel. It's a shop. Well, I knew about Poppy to Free a long time, but she's got a shop in Cornwall and she sells all these things. But she's online, and and I think that's lovely. So I've hung that there. I don't use it as a tea towel. I just think it's too nice. So why did I make this? First I bought it because I liked it, and it was a while ago, but then I didn't get into making it straight away because I didn't have the fabric that I wanted, and I kind of like, I'd signed up to the So Hailey Jane boxes, and I'm really happy with all the fabrics I've got. I think in the time that I've been in it, which is about a year, I think I've only received one stretchy fabric that would have been suitable for this dress. However, it's gorgeous, really gorgeous. It's like a mustardy yellow with flowers on it, but I just didn't envision making this dress in that fabric, so I still haven't used that fabric. So when I was watching Create and Craft one day, it was one Sunday, they had a launch day, and it was a collaboration. I think the lady that was on it was Carrie Who Makes It, and it was a collaboration with the Craft Cotton Company, and they were launching this organic cotton, a stretchy organic cotton, and obviously you can see it with me wearing it, but this is the fabric, you know. Here's some pieces. I know it does probably look like I've got quite a lot left, but it's because all the scrappy bits are inside. But I really wanted to make it, then I didn't have the fabric. Then when I got the fabric, I felt like, because I wanted to make the 3/4 length sleeves, and because the colour of it, I think it looks, for me, it looked like a spring kind of make. So I waited and waited till spring came along, and then what happened, it got, I didn't end up making it at the time, do you know, obviously because we got like Valentine's and Easter and things, so I didn't make it. And then the weather got really, really hot, so then I was kind of like, oh gosh, I don't feel like making it. Then it went a bit cooler again, then it got hot again. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just have to make it at some point. And what pushed me into thinking, right, I've just got to get this made done, is because of another pattern. Basically, I won a voucher from the Fold line through So Hailey Jane, because I share my boxes. Everything I share, I've paid with my own money and everything. But if you like share your So Hailey Jane box, you're in the chance of winning a voucher. And I won a voucher for the Fold line, a £15 voucher. Now, one of the patterns, I haven't got that to hand. I had one in print and one in PDF. And the one pattern is this, and I haven't made it yet. It's the square neck top, and it is by the Friday Pattern Company. I haven't sewn anything from the Friday Pattern Company before, and it's using a stretch knit fabric. And I thought that's a lovely little t-shirt, a square neck, nice little cap sleeves, and I thought, do you know what, that is really me. And I thought, oh, what would be really nice? And I thought that stripy fabric, but I thought there is no way I'm going to cut that out of that stripy fabric until I've got my dress out of it. And another thing I've been itching to make, now you've seen that I've made some before, and it's pants. Now, I've made pants once in just an old t-shirt, in one pattern, and then I made another pair of pants out of an old vest it was really stretchy rib fabric. Now the t-shirt material I didn't like as much because it didn't have any stretch and really stretch, and I didn't like the shape of pants all that much. But the pants that I did like the shape of, I'm sure it's these. I've kept both sets of pants actually. Let me double check I'm not getting this wrong. I think they're a bit more, yeah, I got on better with the Megan Nielsen pants. I think it was free. It's the Acacia, I think you say it. It's A-C-A-C-I-A. Acacia, if you pronounce it as an X, those. And I've been itching to make more of those, but again, I will not cut into my stretchy fabric until I've at least got a garment out of it. So what the plan is, I thought, I'll get my Coco out of it. I think my husband's come back. I just heard the motion. Get the Coco out of it, get the square neck top out of it, and hopefully get some pants out of it. So that was my plan. So on the final, I watched all of the Serbian Baby this year. I know that I've said to you before, like I've been a bit sporadic with it because sometimes, because you know, if you've been following me a while, before I was only kind of making 1 to 2 garments a year, and so you know it wasn't a massive deal clothes making. So but last year I think I made 4 garments that were not knitted, they were sewn, and this year I think I've made 14 wearable garments so far. That's not including like crochet or knitted or anything. So yeah, I'm really pleased. It's like a record for me actually. So anyway, on the final of the Serbian Bee, I thought I was going to start another project which I still haven't started, and I thought no, I'm going to do clothes making because it will get me in the mood. So while the final of the Serbian Bee was on, like I'll record it, so if I felt like I missed something I could re-watch it back in the morning or whatever. I was pinning this fabric. Now I thought I really want all the lines to match up, so I pinned every line to make sure it when I folded it up. And then when I cut my front piece out first, I really wanted, see here, I wanted them, because I couldn't put them side by side, the pattern pieces. I had to stagger them one above the other. I was determined at the seam, I wanted that to match up, and I'm really pleased I have managed to achieve that. And how I managed to do it is on the pattern there's a little notch, so I made sure I knew those notches wouldn't match up when I sewed the front and the back piece together, so I made sure that when I cut it out, I made sure I put the notch between the notch fell between 2 colours, so I made sure on the back piece that was the same. Now it was a little bit easier to match the sleeves up because you just cut in the sleeve, and as long as you've got it straight of grain, then it's going to match up. So that's what I did. And did I do the same? I'm just looking now. Yes, I tried to do the sleeves the same look, so I'd have the same colour stripe in the same place, and I'm really pleased with it. What else can I say about this? I think there is a printing error. Right, please message in the comments below if you disagree. What I'd like to say is actually, while I'm on about comments, a lovely lady who watches my videos left a lovely comment on my blog. So she went to my blog after here, and she left a lovely comment on my blog, and I was able to like her comment, but I wasn't able to reply, and I did quite a lengthy reply 3 times, and it just kept saying error. And I don't know if there was something going wrong at the time, but I don't know if it's because my blog is a free one. I don't know if I'd have to upgrade to a paid one to be able to reply to the comments, but I don't really want to do that right now because I'm not a business and I'm not making money out of this. So I don't really want to spend money on a blog, and then what might happen is one day I might get fed up, because this happened before. I had a website with loads of content on it that was linked up to my old papercraft YouTube channel, so people could go from a channel to get more instructions and diagrams and things. And once my year of was up, I didn't want to pay what I was paying, so I didn't really want to go down the paid blog route, because when I say to you there's something in my blog, I want it to be there, because I've recently watched other YouTubers and they've gone about my blog, it's in my blog, and I've gone to their blog and it's non-existent anymore, and that's probably what happens on my papercraft channel. So what did I want to say about this? Right, sizing. Now, if you was to look at my bust measurement with a bra, it would suggest that I cut out a 4. And if you looked at the waist, it would suggest I cut out the 1. If you was to look at my hip, if it was high hip, I'd probably sit between, close to the 1, could be in between the 1 and the 2. If you were looking at my widest bit of me down below, I would be more the 2, less than 3 kind of size. However, I have made a Tilly and the Button Agnes top, a couple of those actually, and I use the size 2. So I didn't want to cut out the, I know that sounds crazy, because if it says my bust one, I should be doing the 12. Well, you think, why on earth would then you do the size 2, which is the 8? But I knew it was going to be okay, as long as you know you wash your fabric and you pre-shrunk it and things. There's me saying it's my husband, but he hasn't come. Maybe it wasn't him that was causing motion, maybe it was something going through the door, I don't know. But he would have stuck his head in to say hello, unless he's heard me chatting, that is. So I just went in and cut in the 2, knowing that it could be quite fitted on my bust, but it probably going to be very loose on my waist. And probably, what would I say, on my hip? So snug on my widest hip. Let me look at that again, and maybe just about right on my high hip kind of thing. But do you know what? It's fine. It's absolutely fine that I've gone smaller. I know they say, oh, don't do that, but I think when you've got something stretchy, you don't want it massive. And look, I have got a lot of room, haven't I, in that? So I don't think me sizing smaller. Now, if you look at my shoulders, let me show you. That's my waist. So it's sitting there. If I stand up, and it's quite, so if I flatten it to my hips, that's my hips. So it kind of just stands a bit out and then kicks out at the bottom. And I'm only 5'4", so I've taken off 3.5 inches off the length, because I wanted it to be mid-thigh. You probably can't, if you can see that see that's my knee there, so it's like mid-thigh. I have got some nice woolly socks on actually to keep me warm in here. So that's what it's like. If I stand at the side, I think it looks like it's got quite a lot of room. If anything, if you have a look at the back, I think there's quite a bit of material there. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I often do a back adjustment, but I didn't do it on this. Would I do one? Do you know what? I could. If I just say put an inch dart either side on the waist, it would probably look about like that at the front, which would be fine. So do you know what? I possibly would put, spaced out evenly, put a waist dart in, so do you know when you've got the bit going up the top and the bottom, 2 of those evenly on the waistline. I would actually do that. So maybe if I make one of these again, maybe I'll try that and see how it goes. So what else do I want to say about this? Printing error. Now, it says here, you put in stay tape and things. Actually, looking at this, if you was only making, oh, you can't really see if it will focus. Yeah, if you're only making the Coco top, you can lay your pieces next to each other, so it's easier to match the stripes. But with the dress, you have to layer them, so that's how I made sure the notches were between the same stripes to match them. It says here that you have to put ribbon or stay tape or another kind of stabiliser along the shoulder seam, which I did do that. I used proper stay tape, and it says to align the inside edge of it 5/8 of an inch from the fabric edge. So it depends on what it means. If it means that edge at see, can you see that edge? if you put that edge on the 5/8 of an inch, I think it would be fine. But it says the inside edge, so that I don't know if that's where it's got. So I think I class that as the inside and put that on the edge. So then it means that my zigzag was on the outside. It said it should have been in the seam, but you can't even see. I used white thread and you can't even see that anyway. So I don't know. I thought, is it meant to say put it 3/8 of an inch, or have I read it wrong? I'm not quite sure. But apart from that was my only thing that I wasn't sure about. It's really easy to make. I didn't do any fitting this time, but obviously I will probably put a couple of darts in if I make one again. And so yeah, so I think that's all I've got to say about that at the moment. So you know, I love the pattern. I finally got some lovely organic stretch cotton from the Craft Cotton Company. I got that on launch day. Hopefully, look at him, hopefully he wants to come out, doesn't he? I've got enough to make the square neck top and a pair of pants. That's what I really hope to get out of these. So that is that. So I will cross that out. Hopefully I've said everything I want to say, because what it is, even though I write notes, they're very look at him, they're very vague. I just write dress and then I just go for it and hope that and maybe I could write all these things down, but I don't want it too lengthy because I don't want to sit there talking. So next make what do I want to talk about? Bag. Now I made a bag yesterday and I've posted it on my social media, and I could not believe the size of it. I really couldn't. So I'll try and do this. If you imagine people put chihuahuas in bags, you could have about 20 chihuahuas in these bags. If you have a look, he's getting excited over this. Ta-da! Look at it. It is huge. It is the Mandy Shaw Brighton beach bag. Now, I've never been to Brighton, and I had a look where Brighton is actually, and it's like on the south coast of London, so I think that's probably why I haven't been, because I think for me to get to it in the Midlands, you'd have to kind of like go through London or skim past it, and it is quite a nightmare actually getting into London, even though it's theoretically getting into London should only take you about 2 hours in the car. It's never turned out that way. My husband and I have been to events in London where we've tried to just do it in the day, and we've done other ones where we've just done a stay over, and you know what, we've said we're never going to just do the day anymore, because when we put the address in the map, it says how long you're going to be, and then there's and then it's a lot longer than it always says. So I don't know if I'll be going to Brighton or not. If somebody has said go to Brighton, you should go, because I always went abroad with my parents. They really like the sun. They're sun worshippers. So am I. We like, look, we tan. We're a tanning kind of family, and but my husband, I'm not saying he's never been abroad, but he went on more English holidays. So I married into a family that holiday in Cornwall, in St Ives. And so even though that's quite far to get to, you're kind of missing out that London bit, aren't you? And we kind of time it the right time to go. And I've not been to Wales many times. I've only been to Wales twice, but that's a really good place to go to from the Midlands. And actually, if you go into the middle of Wales, the drive from the Midlands is just incredible. It's the most incredible journey I've ever taken. You go through all the Welsh mountain, can't you? If they're classed as mountains, I don't know, or hills with all like mountain. I'm saying mountain. It might not be mountain goats and sheep. It's incredible, and it's not very busy either. Do you know, like we hardly saw a car on that journey. So yeah, it's really nice. Anyway, back to the bag. So this is how big it is. Now, what I will say, I'll show you the inside and what's going on with that. But what I want to show you is now I'll put this, I've took a photograph of this already, because if you scrolled across on my Instagram or saw it on Facebook, you will have seen this. I think I've got a dog hair in my mouth. It's the trouble with pets, isn't it? You end, you know, they end up in everything. It looks different. Can you see the handle? Can you see that's quite a short, deep scoop, isn't it? And that's probably like a bigger scoop going round the outsides. Now look at mine. See that? That looks really wide, doesn't it? Now, I don't know if on their picture it's because it was bent like that, but it isn't. It's not bent. Now, but if you look at this bit, right, the side, where the side seam is, look at that. That is much smaller. So I don't know if there's a mistake on the pattern. I know I didn't do it wrong. I'm just warning you ladies, because if you want to make it, or gentlemen, you know, you gentlemen might want a nautical beach bag. I don't want to leave you guys out. I don't think there's probably a guy that watches my YouTube, in all honesty. I'm guessing it's all ladies, but I can't leave them out just in case. If you look at the pattern piece, my husband, I can see, he's just booked an appointment because we've got a joint calendar and it's coming up. He's booked an appointment, so I know he'll be on his way home. So this is the pattern piece for the anchor part, to the anchor bit on here, and you place it on the fold. Now that's the side you place on the fold, and that is a big scoop, isn't it? So if you've got that, that's your middle bit. So, but look how steep and shallow this one is. So, ladies or gentlemen, if you wanted yours to look like more like that one with the shorter little bit, put your fold that side, cross that out, right, and put fold, cut on fold here, and I think then your bag will look like that. So yeah, I'm really delighted with it, but I just thought that is so bizarre, and I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, because I'm not saying I never do anything wrong, but I'm a bit pedantic kind of thing, so I like look at things in such detail, you know. So anyway, so this is the inside, and it's a spotty lining. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I bought this as a pattern and I sourced the fabrics, and I'll tell you about where I got the fabrics. And inside you've got this. So this is where you, I'm guessing, like you put a key or something. Good if you're on holiday, isn't it? And you put your room key. And see this here? This is the little keepsake I mentioned on the social media. That is from a belt of my children's. My boys are all teenagers. They're 17, 15 and 13, and they all wore this belt, and I've got a little piece of it, and so I've used that. And see this gorgeous clip? It's lovely, isn't it? So nice. And that I've got, I'm delighted to use it, but I'm also a little bit sad. I got it as a pair from Guthrie and Garnish. See, it's got G&G on it. Guthrie and Garnish. It's Lauren from the Sewing Bee. It's that Sewing Bee, I did watch. It was the first series. I did watch that one. And originally it was £4.50, and I got it for £2.25. And I was delighted to get that. And I've been saving it for the perfect bag project to use for my bag handle. But now, because I've used it on there, haven't I? So I'm a little bit gutted about it, because it's not like you think, oh, I can go back and get another. She was selling these off, so I'm not going to get another, which is unfortunate, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm going to have another probably clasp in another bag as well now. So at least they're gorgeous, but I wonder if I could get any more of those. I don't know. If you know anyone that sells them as gorgeous as that, please let me know. So is that everything I wanted to say about that? Oh yeah, fabrics, where I got them from. Now, I had eyed this up on Mandy's website for a long time, and I think she must have sold it as a kit, but I don't know if when she did have it as a kit I didn't get it, or it just never came round again as a kit. But she did sell fabrics that were suitable for it. But every time it was summer and I tried to buy the fabrics, they were just out of stock. So I was smart. I waited for the winter and I bought my fabrics in the winter because they were so much easier to get, because people just didn't want nautical looking fabric. Now I've kept the receipt actually. Where is it? Oh, I did have it out. Hang on. Oh, I haven't got it. Well, anyway, so basically, even though I only bought it as a kid, I can't remember where I got them from. I bought the, I think it's Rose and Hubble spot fabric, but I got that from Mandy. That's a proper cotton like fabric. I don't know if there's any other, if there's any polyester in it or whatever. I don't know. There might be. And then this, it's like, I want to say oilcloth, but it's not oilcloth. It's basically like an outdoor kind of fabric. It's plasticky, but it's not shiny. There's no shine whatsoever on this. It's like an outdoor fabric, and so is that. And I got both of those from Mandy, and I have got some of those left. And I did buy the red strapping from her, the webbing. Now I normally buy all my webbings from Fumble. It is Fumble, isn't it? Fumble Fabrics, and that's they're online. They have got a shop that you go by appointment, but I generally shop on. I've been there once, and I generally shop online. I normally get them from there, but I got this one directly from Mandy. So that's the bag. Now I think inside it there is another pattern, because it says you're going to need a 10-inch zip, right? But you didn't need a zip on that. So if I have a look, so I think you get 2 projects in one, but it doesn't advertise that. Let me read it. Sorry, I don't like reading things to you, because I think it's boring me reading. I can't actually see another. Oh, here it is. To make the purse. So it says you cut 2 triangles from a certain size and tells you what to do. So I don't actually, oh, that is what you do. It doesn't show you a picture of the finished purse, right? But it shows you that you put a D-ring on it. So what I'm guessing is that clip is that you clip a purse onto that. I didn't realise that. So I will make that and I'll show you what it looks like, because obviously there's no finished picture of it. So yeah, oh, that'll be a fun thing to do. So that is that for now, but obviously it's still ongoing, isn't it? So I'll put that pattern. Actually, I'm really tidy down here. You often dump things down here. But before I came on here to film, because I moved my dress forms and things, I sorted everything out, and I've had a vac down here and everything, and it's like it's just, the floor is clutter free. It's lovely. The only thing I've got on the floor now is this. This is a basket I keep, and this has got all my son's old belts, these little tiny belts, and I've kept them all because, well, one of them is because I'm a hoarder. That's probably one of the reasons. Yeah, so look, even a Spider-Man one, look, you know, bear in mind the age of my kids now, but they can be quite useful. Do you know, if you want to just do a little tiny bit to put a D-ring on and things, and they're sentimental to me because I can remember my children wearing those belts, so that is really nice. So I've talked about the dress, the bag, the things I wanted to make out of that fabric, my tapes, And another thing I want to mention. Oh, I haven't, and I've got a make that this is my third make here that I'll show you in a moment. But I've wrote a note of this. You may have heard me mention Owl and the Sewing Cat before. I've made a number of Owl and the Sewing Cat things. I found her through Create and Craft TV, and recently, because I get emails from her, recently she's done a printout that you can get from her. You have to like add it to your basket like you're purchasing it, but it's a list that you can print out at home, and it's all the patterns that she does. Now I didn't realise she had so many, in all honesty. Like, I have followed her for years and years. But yeah, so you know, there's like 5 pages of her patterns, and what it is, you can tick it. There's a column to say I have this, and there's one I want this. So I'm gonna have a look through of my Owl and the Sewing Cat patterns, because some of them I've made and some of them I haven't. So I'm gonna go through and see which ones I've made and see if I want some. At the moment, I'm not really purchasing much at all. I've ordered some fabric, actually. Yeah, I've ordered some fabric. I've got it here. To make another Christine Haynes Sylvie dress. Now, if you watched my recent video, I made a pineapple dress using this pattern. I will have to mess about with my pattern pieces because I did cut the waistband back too small, and I used the wrong pattern piece for the bodice, but I'm going to make another one, but I am going to change it. The thing I've decided to change, because it's a little summer dress, because I've bought a summer dress fabric again, I'm actually going to lower the back on it, because the back comes, even though it's a nice dipped neck here, sorry babe, it comes right up at the back, and I really want a nice dip back, so I'm going to redraw a new neckline in. And how I do that on a pattern is I get the original pattern piece, I draw in the seam line so you know where your garment will finish, and then I draw the new neckline in, and then I draw the new cutting line in from there. And you have to make sure you check it with your front piece to see if the shoulders are going to be the same size and things. So that is what I'm planning to do. And I think my makes, if you see my future makes, including that bag, they're going to look quite nautical, because I'm trying to make things with things I've already got, and I'm trying to do ones that I know are summer related. So so all my nautical and summer related things, I'm going to try and do. I know that things I've already got, basically, so it's going to all be looking red, white and blue, probably a lot of my future pictures that are coming up. And so I have done a little bit of red work, and I've used something a little bit different. I've used a finer thread, and it's actually a perlé, so it's thinner than I normally use. It's a, I can't remember the size of it exactly. I can check that if anybody wants to know. But I've made this. It's a Home Sweet Home, and the design is by Mandy Shaw, and it's actually a design from 2011. Now, I didn't buy the design in 2011. I bought it years later, but they were to make pin keepers. So that's why the circles go. Actually, like, I've basically put the transfer on, but the circle, it isn't that round, it is a bit skewy actually, but that's not my stitching, that's because the transfer's a bit skewy. But I didn't want it as a pin keeper. I intend to hang it up. I've put a backing on it, but I intend to hang this up in my porch with Home Sweet Home on it, but I haven't done that yet because I've been waiting to show you on my video. So that's a little bit of hand stitching I've been doing. Now, the other hand stitching I've been doing is my 12 Days of Christmas, which I mentioned. I was hoping to bring that today, but I haven't actually finished it, and the reason being is I needed more black embroidery thread, and in my last video I said that I was going shopping that day to pick up something for my son's girlfriend, but we ended up going the day after. and I went into John Lewis, and they had packs of embroidery thread and they didn't have any black thread in them. And then as I was just about to complain to my husband they haven't got any, I saw this mighty tower of embroidery thread on nearly, you know, I said I was going to say nearly wet myself. I was just so excited when I saw it. So but they didn't have any black. I just could not believe. They had like a shiny one, but I didn't really want the shiny. Okay, the shiny might have looked nice, but I was going to have to do a lot of black stitching, and sometimes metallic threads, they're not the easiest of threads to work with, and they're not the nice to feel to work with. So I couldn't get it. So we ended up going over to Dunelm, and I bought a pack. They cost £9 a pack of embroidery thread, but there was one black skein in there. It's because I could have ordered online, but because I knew I was going out shopping, because for this frame for my son's girlfriend, I knew I could buy something, not realising it was going to be so hard to buy something. So I got it. So I'm going to be working on that a bit again, but the times that I could have spent working on it, I've ended up doing a bit of unpicking, because like I don't take orders and things, but I do get roped into things for people every now and then, and sometimes it pulls at the heartstrings a bit. They don't try and do that, but I just can't. Sometimes I can't say no to people, so I've taken up some curtains for my friend, and so it's like my middle son's best friend's mum, and I've taken some curtains up, and I did that in the evening because my husband was busy doing his thing, and I made tie backs with the bits I've cut off and stuff. So I've been doing that, and also the thing I was unpicking in front of the TV was a ready to wear garment I bought last year to go on holiday. Now I can't remember what I paid for it. It was from River Island. I bought it, I tried it on, and I said to my husband, like, bear in mind, when I look in the mirror, I'm standing right next to the mirror because it's at the side of the bed. I can't really stand back and have a real good look at myself to see what I look like. I can only really look really up close, and you don't really get a full feel for it, do you? So he said, yeah, it's fine. So I took it on holiday, but I didn't end up wearing it, and then I've got it home, and then I put it on with all this hot weather, and he said I was going to be nipping out the day that we were going to go out, and then didn't, and he goes, you're not wearing that, are you? And I was like, why, what's wrong with it? And he said, it's all right for around the house, but don't go out in it. And I was a bit down. I said, but when I tried it on, you said yes, I would have sent it back. So I was a bit down. I thought, do you know what, I don't want to wear it. Do you know when someone says it, I don't want to wear it again? And I tried to have a good look at it, and I realised what he's saying. I think it made me look short and stumpy, and I think it just wasn't long enough. And basically it's a play suit but a shorts. And what I think the problem is, I don't think the length of it was right for me. I think it was all a bit bunched up, and it just didn't look flattering. So I've unpicked it all to pieces, right? So this is the belt that was on it. I'll pop that down there. This is the body. No, it isn't. Tell a lie. This is the body piece. Oh gosh, I've dropped a piece here. This is the body piece, and it did have elastic going round the top and elastic going round here where it joined the shorts, but I've picked that all out, so I've got that at the moment. I haven't undone the top side seams or anything. That is the flounce that was on it, that was round here. So can you imagine it? You imagine it looks quite pretty. I've taken photos of my dress form wearing it, and I'll put those. They're not on my social media, they're only going to be on my blog, because I don't want to put it on my social media because people think, oh well, they'll think I've made it, and I've not made it. It's something I've bought. So if you want to see it all in one piece, it's on my blog, and it looks quite nice on my dress form, but it just didn't look good on me. So that was the flounce that went around. So, and this, it basically had shorts, and then this was what I liked about it. My husband doesn't usually like play suits on me because he doesn't like how they look on my bottom area. But what I thought, this is what attracted me to this. It had like a wrap skirt that was attached at the waist also that went round, and it did have belt loops. So I've picked that off. So I've got that piece, and then that's the elastic that was around the waist. It's still in one piece, and with the elastic that went around here, it was thicker. It was thicker than this elastic, and it was still in one piece. So what I did, I encased it in the top of the original shorts, and I've sewn it around. So out of that fabric so far, I've got a little pair of shorts. So I don't think I'll be wearing those out of the house. They'll probably be just something I might wear as pyjama shorts, or just maybe in the garden over a bikini, or just round the house basically, because they're 50% cotton, so they're quite breathable, and they're about 50% polyester, so they've got a bit of durability. So I've got, so far at least I've got some little shorts out of it. Not something I'm going to wear out, but I would definitely wear at home. And I've got all those pieces of fabric that I can make something with. Now, I don't know if it's going to work out because I haven't looked at the instructions, but I had a look, and excuse this, I've obviously got it wet, look, and I've obviously printed this out, and it's the Trudy top by the Hemming. Now, I've never made anything by the Hemming before, and let me see if there's a picture. That I don't think I've printed the actual, oh I have, but it's got wet, oh gosh, it's got wet. Can you see that? It's a little strappy short number, and I think it looks like it's got shearing elastic underneath. So I'm sorry about that big splodge. I've obviously got it wet at some point. Maybe I've printed it and I've left it in the kitchen. So I'm going to have a look at the instructions, and because it's obviously summer, that's only something you could wear in the summer. I'm going to have a look and see with what I've got if I can make a little top out of it. Like, you never know, if it looks really nice and then my husband thinks these look all right on me without the skirt getting mad. Like, I know I shouldn't. You should wear what you want, but you do want your husband to like what you're wearing, don't you? You don't want them going, that's really unflattering for you, do you? So so hopefully I might have a top out that I can wear out. I might have an old outfit I can wear out. But that is my plans at the moment. So nautical makes are going to be coming, as in a couple of fun things, a dress, and which I haven't told you about the fun things. I'll just show you them when you see them. Maybe do something with this fabric, and the nautical purse add-on for the bag, the square neck top, and maybe more pants, and a nautical dress. So that is kind of how I'm at the minute. My plans are never set in stone because I'm a bit, well, I have been described by family members on my husband's side as a free spirit. That's what, if they pick one word for me, that's what they say, I'm a free spirit. So I probably am a bit of a free spirit. I have seen other bloggers and things, and they do these things where it's like, I didn't really know what it was. I think it's make 9, and I think it's 9 garments, and you're going to make them that year. And I do think that's a really good idea. Do you know, if like you're the kind of person that it will really, if you tell people you're going to make these 9 items, and it's going to give you the kick up the bottom to make it. But you know what? Nobody really needs to give me the kick up the bottom to make something. I am just constantly, what am I going to make next? What am I going to make? In all honesty, I sometimes plan to make something and I make it 3 years later, and it's not because I've not been doing anything, it's just I've got that many things I want to make. It sometimes takes me 3 years to get to it. So sometimes a plan I do straight away, and sometimes it's one I'm going to get to eventually. So that is kind of where I'm at the moment, nautical and whatever. So I hope you get something out of that, and I hope like the Mandy fans are happy to see a couple of Mandy makes, and the dressmakers are happy to see something a little bit dressmaking. So thank you so much for watching, and I was really hoping this video was going to be shorter, but I'm just looking at the minutes and it's not shorter. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing Rafe with me today, and I'll see you soon when I've got some more to show you. Bye!